Good morning, traders. Today is Monday, February 3rd, 2025. My name is Joseph. I'm with Smart Money Traders. Thank you for being here today and watching the stream where we look at the market together and see how we can tackle this beast called the financial market. So here we trade primarily the S&P 500, yes, futures, and we look at the NQ as well, the NASDAQ. Basically, why I created this channel is really to, a way for me to talk out my trades and really look at just look at the markets in an environment where, it's live and we don't have to go back and look at the charts in the middle. When we can, at the right edge, we can look at what the market is doing together. So basically, here I'm going to look at the market. What we look at first, we look at the structure. And that's the first thing we'll look at when I look at this market. And before I go into my analysis, I want to make sure I say the disclaimer, because this is not a recommendation to buy or sell any futures contract or foreign exchange. This is just for educational purposes only. So basically, you're responsible to make your own calls as far as the trade you take or don't take. The first thing we do when we look at this market, we look at it with the structure. What is the structure telling us? I mean, we know over the weekend what happened. A lot of tariff talks, and we knew that today this market was going to be most likely down. And this is what happened. The market gap down yesterday. Pretty big. That's a big gap. See that big red band here on the bottom right? That's my structure chart. So I'm gonna bring it to the forefront here. That's a chart of the ES. That's a 30-minute chart. So I like to look at the 30 minutes because this is really what, from my understanding, that's what the big boys look at for structure short term. So we want to look at what they're looking at. So as you can see here, we're in between two big value gaps. So let's kind of squeeze in between those two value gaps. But definitely today, I'd say bias is to the downside, but I'd be careful because even though we had that big gap down, market really has kind of stabilized in between these two levels. Seeing what we saw last week. Last week we had a big gap down. It was a little less than a gap with deep seek, but by the time morning comes, 6:30, market bounce. And this big gap was created way back when in January 15. This is where the big fair value gap was created. So that's something we gotta keep in mind here. So that's something that we have to be mindful of, and knowing that this is a big support area, and this is what we saw that last week, and we're seeing that this week. So we're really in between support and resistance here, and the tendency is usually to go and fill the gap. So I'd say right now we're looking probably to fill this gap, or at least attempt to fill it. We may not fill it completely, but attempt to fill that gap. So that's something I would want to definitely be mindful of right now. I'm looking at the NQ, probably same scenario, probably a big gap. This is a previous support and resistance that I've drawn. I'll probably redraw those. Those might still be in play at some point. I want to redraw those up. So what we're looking at here, we're looking at the same kind of scenario. As a matter of fact, right now, with the NQ, I would say this thing held up pretty well. Since 3 a.m., it's been going back and forth between 274 and 155, which is about 120, 119. Yeah, about 119, 120 points. Pretty big. But for the NQ, this is nothing. Especially on a day like today, we can see this market trying to go higher and clear that gap. And we did create a fair value gap about 3:30 this morning when this market go up, and stays above it so far, which could say, hey, we may see some bullish action here. We're gonna definitely be mindful of that. Okay. Right now We look at the structure. We see structure is down, and we're looking to see if this market is going to go lower or going to go higher. But I wouldn't definitely try to sell this market right away because we got there could be some bullishness in this market. People trying to really close this gap. No, that's a big possibility. On the top right, we see the 3-minute chart. I use this more like for like a structure chart on the 3-minute. Like right now, we just hit, this is a 9-minute fair value gap. So that's a resistance area right here. And we're hitting it. We hit it. Now we're trying to bounce off the VWAP. So that's still to me, we're trying to see if this market is going to go down, but we got to be careful as far as where we're going here. Bottom at the middle here, it's just like a 8-tick Wenko bar. It's a type of Wenko bar by Algo Box Action Market. 925, this market's selling off right now. So again, we don't usually take a position until after 935. So you're going to see a lot of that going on. A lot of runs like this today. And today being Monday, we'll be careful to get into a position because we know Mondays, I equate that as it's like a feel of, it's like trying to feel what the market is going to do. So typically I don't trade big on Monday. I just mainly observe what the market is going to do. So it's like a plane taking off, going, they want to go south, but because of the wind, they may have to go north first and then turn around or go the opposite direction before they actually get the right direction. So that's why I look at the market on Mondays. It's more like setting up. So right now we're looking at the bottom left, which is a volumetric bar, which is included. This is not an indicator. This is included in NinjaTrader if you have the lifetime version, or you pay that extra $59 a month for the order flow bundle. Here we can see this market here, it's gone, the deltas are definitely being negative, meaning more aggressive sellers than buyers. And we right around VWAP, so that's something we got to keep in mind as well. So VWAP can definitely be used as a bounce point. And the other lines that you see here, they're like standard deviation of VWAP. So this can be used also as support and resistance. So that's just the order flow chart, showing my footprint chart here, showing who's being aggressive, what kind of delta are we having? Are we having some divergence in delta? Are we having aggressive sellers and buyers? Like, for example, here we got 2 levels, back-to-back levels, with some imbalance. So that definitely can help us decide and confirm which way we want to go. So right now, this market looks like it wants to go a little lower here. So top left is it's a Renko bar with the right line trading system. One thing I want to say about trading systems is one thing, but really ultimately you got to be the system. You got to be the one that execute it. You got to be in the mindset and understanding and be in the flow of the market, because all those things are just tools. How you use them, that's what's going to make the difference. On the top here, in the middle, is the Raptor trading system by Educator Warehouse. That's a system I've been using for over 10 years. So I'm pretty familiar with this. I just got back to it a couple months ago using it, but it's pretty good. It gives you signals, a little short and wide and, short and long. But again, you got to use your discretion to figure out, okay, are these signals are good or are they bad? Or are they, not good or bad? Are they essentially going with the market or against the market? Do I need to keep in mind if there's resistance, if there's support? If give me a short ride into support, probably it's not going to work much. Good. If you give me a long ride into resistance, as a matter of fact, those lines here, see this line here was a resistance line. At 825 actually. Well, this market pointed a few bars since 825. So at 820, sorry, we got a long signal here to go to buy, but it was right at resistance. So this is when you got to look at the market with the, you have to have some discretion to see, okay, which way really do I want to trade? Now here, after we hit resistance, we get a short signal. This was a better one. And I'm not saying that because in hindsight, but this is just what my analysis would be, looking at support and resistance compared to where the signal is and the overall trend too. So that's very, very important. So here we're bouncing off VWAP in the ES. So and the NQ is going higher. So that's a sign that, like we said today, we can see an attempt to fill the gap. If you're watching, say hi in the chat. Let me know what you're trading and what you're looking at. So it's 9:30. So the markets are open. Let's wait and see how things transpire here. So we're seeing some selling going on. Just gonna wait and see what it's gonna do. So usually I wait typically at least 5 minutes before I take a position one way or the other. Like I said a few minutes ago, I wouldn't be surprised to see this market trying to go higher at the moment because they want to try to fill that gap. So which is very understandable. So we had a pivot here in the ES. Definitely could see a little pullback here. Maybe pull back to VWAP before we go higher. Only looking at, again, lots of reasons for this market to go lower here at the moment. We had a pivot. We had a standard deviation, but we may blow past it too. Yeah, it looks like we're breaking it. Somebody said something in the chat. Oh, thank you, Starry. 9:45, there's news. Okay. Let me see if I can. Let's see if we can look at Forex Factory together here. It's a big move up here. 9:45 we got. Okay, it says here I think I have only 10 o'clock news, which is ISM manufacturing PMI. I think I'll need to, if I adjust my filter, I usually look at the red items, but let's look at the orange ones. Maybe there's an orange item at 9:45 now. I'll apply the filter. Final manufacturing PMI and ISM manufacturing PMI. This is tomorrow. Let's just look at the news for the whole week now. Tomorrow we got job openings, 10 a.m. Eastern. Wednesday we got a slew of news as well. Thursday, yes, we do have some unemployment claims like we have every Thursday at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. Okay, we got a Fed member speaking at 2:30 p.m. on Thursday. We gotta keep an eye on that. Got crude oil on Wednesdays. Every Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. We have crude oil, and we're gonna have non-farm payroll this Friday, which is gonna be very, very interesting. So that's gonna give us an employment rate. Non-farm payroll change, the hourly earnings, which is a very, very important number. Got quite a bit of news this week to navigate through. Again, news is one of those things that you have to be mindful of because you can have the best setup, the best, and news kind of wreck it. So right now, it looks like we're going lower. So we get to this close to this VWAP standard deviation here, the second standard deviation, and we're going lower. So is this going to be support here? We'll find out. The market is kind of extended. We're looking to see, pullback is definitely making sense here. Maybe 73, 74 could be a pullback to that level in the ES and then go higher. I don't know, they may even go try to visit where VWAP is at the moment, which is 66, 75. Let's look at the ES here. Well, yeah, we're pushing higher. So this standard deviation here did serve as support. Yeah, I got to 75. Which I said 74 could be. What's the low on this candle here? The low on this was 74 and 3/4. Again, we may see a pullback here at this standard deviation here, like we saw earlier. Nothing unusual here. This was support and resistance at some point, so we may come back to 80.25 here. We may not even come back to that. If we get a positive bar here, we may be going higher here. So 41 back. Give us that little, you can see we're ranging here. When we see those two lines, that means we're ranging. But here it looks like we trying to go higher here. Yeah, okay, we're bouncing higher now. Yeah, it's all back and forth at the moment. It's just 9:45 is coming. We have a little bit of news. It's not a red news, but you know, it might have potential to impact the market a little bit, especially the environment that we're in right now. Any news that comes out, the market is very, market participants are very, very sensitive. So I would definitely want to stay away from the market here for a little bit and see how things saw earlier here. 9:45, we got final manufacturing PMI. It's about 17 seconds, 15 seconds. Let's see how it goes. We may see a reaction from this market or not. Let's see. Again, a down move based on how it is. We can see a down move here. It's 51.2, which is better than expected. The forecast was 50.1. Can't make too much out of this. In this market today, we have tariff talks. That's really what the main theme is. Tomorrow, it looks like tariffs going to be levied in Canada and Mexico. So that's something we got to keep in mind here. So we will go to the VWAP at 67, 60, let's call it 68. I don't know. We're definitely at a pivot right now. We're definitely so we just broke it to the downside. Looks like the sell here might be the way. So just going to have to wait for a pullback though. It's going to pull back. Can't chase this right now. Can't chase this to the downside. We got to wait for the pullback. We're kind of at a support here too. We are approaching the support, and which is the VWAP could serve as support. We had a little fair value gap in the 9-minute. Definitely careful going short here. You can see the bounce. As I said, definitely careful going short because there was reasons for this market to bounce higher here. If we cannot take 85 out, then we get a U-turn here. We might go short. I think I took a little too long to do that. Now it's kind of left us here. Or is it just testing those lows again? And going higher. And we're getting a sell signal on the Raptor, but again, a sell signal here, we're right at support. We don't want to be selling at support here. And we're still above VWAP, so to me, this is more like trying to go. If I were to be guessing here, we'll have to go higher here. See, maybe above here we can go long, but I don't know. This thing is ranging at the moment. So like at 74 here, if we get to 74, but 74 is almost like resistance at the VWAP. So you may be tempted to go long here. Take a long position. It doesn't make, it makes a little bit of sense. But again, we have the VWAP. We're still fighting in between these two levels. So I think the bulls might win here. Yeah. So that's why you wait. Like right here, it was tempting to go long, but market's still in a trend here. Now we're approaching, we're at below VWAP at the moment. So we're approaching this VWAP standard deviation here. So that could be a place to bounce, but full on bearish here with this market. Okay, so here we're approaching this. It looks like we're bouncing higher here. Okay, we're going above VWAP. We're getting some buyers here. Yeah, we're at VWAP again here. This is where earlier we got pushed down back here. It looks like this time around they want to really go higher. Okay, sellers are stepping back in here. Let's see. Oh, that's the 10 o'clock news. Yeah, that's the effect of the 10 o'clock news here. I wonder what came out of this here. Okay, so it's a positive number. So the news is positive. You'd think this market would be going higher. But no, I think the overall tone of this market is a bearish one today. Look above here at 62.50. That could be play this market long. Don't tell me you're gonna be freezing on me right now. Goodness, this is what we're having here. This froze on me. Yeah, it's kind of range bound right now at the moment. After the news here, market's trying to find its footing, trying to find direction here. But my ninja is not working. Just freeze on me here. Hopefully I did save this workspace the way it's set up right now, because otherwise I would have to start over. Yeah, my ninja is freezing here. So trying to see if I can reconnect here, but it's not working. So it looks like I'm gonna have to, it's not just the connection that's not working, the ninja in general is just frozen. So I'm gonna have to restart here. Unfortunately, it's not like anything particular is gonna work in the background, but let's see, like an analyzer, which is up here. Yeah, everything is kind of frozen here. So I gotta kill this ninja and start over. And the thing is, I don't even think I saved this workspace the way it is now. Decision. Let's see. Gonna have to kill the ninja. Yeah. All right, guys. I'll be back. Give me 1 second. In the meantime, I'm looking at my other screen here. This market is screaming to the downside. Let's see. Well, one lesson I just learned. You gotta. Want to make a major change to your workspace, which I usually do. For some reason, last night when I set it up, I did not save the workspace. So when I restart Ninja, I lost everything. Now I gotta physically rearrange things the way I want them to be. Got one more chart to create here, which is my volumetric bar. This is like the footprint chart that gives me all the flow here. Let's see. Okay. Just looking at this market here, it looks like it wants to go lower. But we're at the low of the day, so definitely wouldn't be too eager to be selling here. I think we're seeing a bounce right here. Eyes are definitely pushing higher here. Let's see. Oh, some news must have come into the market for a bounce like this. This market's flying higher. Let me just save this workspace here. My market analyzer is saying that the market analyzer, where is it? Well, yeah. Yes, we're kind of a little behind here in ES, but ES is a little lagging, but everything else is okay. That's a big push up here. And my ES is not catching up. So here's my MNQ here. I think I'm gonna end the stream at the moment. Big push up here. All right, so today was one of those. These were the technical difficulties and lag. First of all, just the lag and just not being able to execute my trades when the market was. I was clearly seeing it moving, but I had a lag. Couldn't do it. Gonna have days like today. Disappointing. So we'll trade tomorrow. And see how it goes. Thanks for watching. Yeah, just missed a big move to the upside here, which is upsetting sometimes. I was looking for the move to the upside. 150, got it, but couldn't take advantage of it. Still lagging and behind. I gotta fix this lagging issue. Especially with the ES, because that's the one primarily I trade, so. But I hope you're doing better than I'm doing today. So just have a good day. Enjoy the rest of your trading day. Take care. Bye-bye. See you guys tomorrow.